This is the best of the Punk Rock and Politics podcast #1. Let's do this.
These days are strange, it's true.
I would bomb the shit out of them.
If you think that punk rock doesn't mix with politics, you're wrong.
Welcome to the best of the Punk Rock and Politics podcast. Today we'll be looking back on previous interviews and featured bands such as the Stalins of Sound, At the Courthouse, and 390. But to kick off the episode, here's a clip from episode number 17 with Reagan Youth.
Hey, where's Spot? Mom, where's Spot? He ran away. Run, Spot, run! Run, Spot, run! Access of milkman comes around. Another day in any town. I wake up with a frown. Another day in any town. Run, Spot, run! Run, Spot, run! I called up Sally, Dick, and Mark. We took my dog Spot to the park. We watched him run and heard him bark. Then Spot ran way into the dark. Run, Spot, run! Run, Spot, run! I had to go and tell my dad. I said, Annie just makes me sad. He said, son, that's pretty bad. He said, I must be going mad. Take him away. Take him away. Take him away. Take him away. I don't wanna live in any town. Any town just brings me down. I don't wanna live in any town. Any town just makes me frown.
You know, it's like not like they're adding in the history of, different nationalities, how, people have moved here, immigration laws, anything like that. It's just more like, go America, be a happy worker, support, Bill Gates. It's more modern world advertising media in school now.
Well, yeah, because you almost have in every industry, you have the emergence of corporate power with whatever, the education system or corporate power with anything. And then you have the donations from these NGOs, like you said, the Bill Gates. So that would be the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And then these, in these corporate interests.
iPad.
Yeah, if they're giving money into the schools or into the military or anything, they're going to kind of want something in return, wouldn't you think?
Exactly. And that's, the purchasing of their products.
Yeah,
So,
there you go. I wasn't even thinking of that. That's almost creating children and students to become consumers.
Well, I mean, everything in our society is geared towards creating children as consumers. I mean, that's the next generation of capitalism. So, it makes sense to have it in schools. Like, there's always little things like vending machines in schools and stuff like that. But now it's like the actual textbooks are part of it.
Yeah, this textbook brought to you by Geico. No,
Right.
Definitely. And you have after No Child Left Behind, that, and then which turned basically the standardized scholastic tests into a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Right.
Yeah.
I read that there's really only been one publishing company for all of the books in the entire country for years, which I didn't even know about. But teachers still had the choice to, kind of have more of an individual curriculum. Mm-hmm. And now they don't.
Yeah.
And the language has been changed a lot too. And that separates the youth from their parents. So the language is different. So that's a communication barrier also. And I personally believe that's on purpose. Some people think that's conspiracy, taking it too far, but, you know, teach his own.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of things that people would kind of like consider conspiracy, but it's just, I mean, it's just how the system is. Whether it's insanity and a bunch of crazy people running the world for capitalism and they're not thinking, or it's an elite cabal doing this, whatever it is, there's this horrible shit that's going on, and it doesn't make sense why as a society we'd be continually going in this direction. I mean, I like.
It's because it's easy.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally easy. It's, yeah.
You know, it's a society on comfort. So it's uncomfortable to see the truth and to act on the truth.
In your days for apathy, not bullshit democracy. Red, white, blue, and loyalty doesn't mean you're really free. In USA war, anarchy, not bullshit democracy. I want total liberty. I want peace and anarchy. They tell us how to act, but what they're meant to slavery. Your standards and authority, how can you think you're really free? In USA war, anarchy, not bullshit democracy. I want total liberty. I want peace and anarchy. You watch me, come over their hypocrisy. Don't be deceived, wake up and say, your freedom is anarchy. In USA war, anarchy, not bullshit democracy. I want total liberty. I want peace and anarchy.
Everyone has, I think, a romantic view of anarchy, you know what I'm saying? But what that really means is that you're free to fuck up, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to bail you out,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's scary.
And so a lot
for
of
a lot
people
of
run
people.
around like, oh shit, anarchy, violence, destroy, break, smash. I tell you, like, if I'm an anarchist and I live on a farm and you come trying to break, smash, fuck with my shit, I'm definitely take you out, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, well,
And
that's
so
just
it's
not.
about natural order. It's about natural law, which means if you come with respect and truth and honor, that's what you'll get. If you come with bullshit, that's what you're going to get.
That's why, like, Reagan Youth is always peace, love, and anarchy. Like, it's not that we're hippies, because we don't really get along like that. It's just what would be necessary to maintain a world, you know, without having crazy control freaks, like, driven by money in charge of our lives.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Just like the golden rule, man. Treat other people how you want to be treated, I suppose.
That's exactly right, man. It's like the Wild West with Reagan Youth. An armed society is a fighting society.
Oh, that's awesome.
Theocrats said I have no manners. Part me, my manner is my own. I might not climb the social ladder, but I keep climbing schoolyard fence. Got a class, say got a class, say got a class. I just fucking sell the uptrack, try to socialize me. And keep me neatly in my place. Excuse me, I'm not a category. And cheap repression's not my taste. Got a class. Say got a class. Say got a class. I can fucking sell. And at times I might be gentle. Don't mean that I'm a gentleman. And I ain't no performance art. I am simply what I am. Got a class. Say got a class. I say got no class.
That was Reagan Youth, and now we'll go all the way back to episode number 5 from January 27. This episode was recorded live at the Trump anti-inaugural ball, where I talked to Hattie from the Stalins of Sound. Check it out. what do you think a Trump presidency is going to do for punk rock and music?
I don't think it's going to do anything for music in general. Okay. I know that a lot of people are pushing that agenda, but if your musicians are the ones that are, being oppressed or being targeted, or not musicians necessarily, but people that are from minority groups are being targeted, those minority groups are not going to be able to create, or they're not going to have the free time to actually create artistic movements. The thing that people associate the whole like punk rock movement in the Ronald Reagan era is false, because there was already punk rock. It was already happening. It was still fresh.
It's kind of right time, right moment kind of thing.
Yeah, right now there's no new thing that I'm aware of, and maybe I'm old, and maybe I don't know, because if Jello Biafra said this perfectly when he mentioned that if there was going to be a new punk rock, we're already too old to recognize what it is, and we're probably already too old to really appreciate it, and so maybe it's just like a thing of self-criticism and self-awareness, maybe. So I mean, how would I know what's the new hip thing for kids that are like 20 years younger than me? I don't know.
Yeah, and it'd be almost like it would be like us trying to perceive what it is would be, I can't think of the word. It'd be like the old people trying to tell us that was what punk rock was against originally. Yeah. So we need to pass the mantle.
Yeah, pass the mantle or see who else is out there. I'm not passing the mantle for nobody. I'm doing my own thing, and I don't care what the fuck anybody else does. Yeah. So,
well, hey, you're here, you're making a difference, and you're playing music. So
that's what matters.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So what's one before we let you go? What's one big issue of 2017 that you think?
The biggest issue, which is the most obvious one, is that now we have a fascist administration in office. Yeah. A truly fascist administration. Like no fucking questions about it. Yeah. They are anti the multicultural society that we live in, and that needs to be addressed, because overwhelmingly the majority of Americans are not like that. Yeah. Or at least they think of themselves as not like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think you're right. That's definitely one of the biggest things that's going to be going on this year. So we're going to go out here and we're going to listen to a little bit of the Stalins of Sound, a song. So what song are we going to hear?
Let's hear Prison Planet.
Awesome. Well, here's Prison Planet. And thanks for doing the interview, man.
Thank you for having us.
Definitely.
Human waste is grinded into dust.
That was the Stalins of Sound. And up next from episode number 18, we have At the Courthouse. Here we go.
I don't know if I'm liberal or not. I just kind of, I open my eyes to things and just kind of edit and say, okay, what's wrong with this or what's right with it? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's for the medical field. For me personally, I have a son that's 8 years old who was born deaf. And I played the song Upon Deaf Ears, and that's what that song was based upon, was my kid.
Oh, okay.
The medical history on that is, so when my son was born deaf, we had him implanted with bilateral cochlear implants. I don't know how to really explain it in a small term, but it's pretty much like a computer chip that allows someone that's profoundly deaf able to hear again.
Oh, wow.
It's not inserted into the brain, but it's connected to the brain in like a hearing aid. From a medical standpoint, from what pissed me and my wife off was that, I mean, we all work day jobs.
Yeah.
That, you know, we don't, and we pay medical insurance on a monthly basis. So the money that I pay to it, what's it going for? When they tell me that they will not cover my son's operation or the stuff he needs to get his bilateral cochlear implants implanted and then upgraded, it's like a computer. And the medical insurance that we've tried to go through, look at that as like plastic surgery, you know?
Oh, wow. Oh my God. Yeah, that's fucked up. Wow. So, and then, so that's why they're not covering it.
Right. They can, well, like Brian said, it's cosmetic. Yeah. To them, it's cosmetic. It's like me.
Well, that's how they're able to get out of covering it, is by classifying it as cosmetic, which is just complete bullshit. But
quality of living, you know. That's,
right. Yeah, so, and from my standpoint and from my punk rock roots, I'm like, well, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Like your kid can't live, and I don't see it as a standard way of life, but to help him, because I embrace the deaf community 100%. My child to be able to have the ability to have a 50-50 chance, and even if he just goes out and plays out in the yard, he can hear a car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come by. So you're going to tell me that you're not going to help because it's like cosmetic surgery, and to give my child an ability to possibly, I guess they would consider it a normal life, but to them, they consider a normal life. To me, it's just helping someone out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's and that's, I mean, that I wanted to hit on this when I saw we were going to talk about this issue. I wanted to address this, and that's really the main problem with our whole system here in America, is that it's for profit based. So at the end of the day, the health insurance industry, they want profit. Their number one goal is profit, not helping their consumers or, you know, their people. So actually, I pulled this up, which, I mean, I knew it was pretty outrageous, but so the annual CEO pay of some of the, I think it's the 5 top CEOs. We have Cigna CEO David Cordani, 17.3 million, and this is all annually. We have Aetna CEO Mark Bertoloni is 17.3 million. United Health CEO Stephen Hemsley, he's quite famous, 14.5 million. Anthem CEO Joseph Swedish, 13.6 million, and then Humana CEO Bruce Borstad is 10.3 million. So I mean, like, what the hell does a person have to do? I mean, what are they doing? One individual making 17.3 million.
Right. And then you gotta, where's the money going? You know?
Well, that's probably going to his Swiss bank account and his private jets and his 14 houses for the, you know, that one individual.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, they figure out what to spend it. That's for sure.
And I know you had mentioned Obamacare, and that was the bigger thing too. I mean, yeah, just for the people that weren't able to afford health care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Obamacare, I mean, I kind of agreed with it to help the people able to afford health care for their families or themselves or vice versa. It also came to mind when they started telling people, if you don't take Obamacare, we're going to fine you. Yeah. So now you're to pay for something that they might not be able to afford. Now, is that actually a good quality of, I mean, yeah, it's great to have health care and stuff like that. But to force it, it's almost like I would consider it like a black market. And then now once you force people to actually pay for something that they have to, or they get fined for it, so they're paying for it regardless, now you have no say in the matter. And then what happens that we've seen continuously throughout the years in the United States alone that I know of is that everything goes up, because you have to have it, you know, the point where.
And a lot, I mean, we're relatively lucky by living in California, but a lot of other individuals in other states, especially the rural communities, they'll have only one option, maybe 2 options in the buy-in, in the consumer. They made like a collective thing that people were supposed to buy into. So, but yeah, forcing people to get it definitely isn't the answer, because now people don't have the money to be able to pay for something that is kind of like a necessity.
Right. I've known, I think, one doctor in my whole life through high school, you know, and the whole doctor's aspect was they really wanted to help people and the money. And I think that's the biggest issue with a lot of stuff that goes on, at least within the United States, is money is the biggest issue. Yeah, I mean, it runs everything, and you got to have, it's never enough. Even the politicians, I mean, politicians used to get paid they did it for free back in 1759, I think, around George Washington and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like
they volunteered, you know, they ran states or cities or counties or something like that for free. Once money it became a big business, you know?
Oh, yeah. And speaking of money in politics, that's the health insurance industry, the companies, they were one of the main supporters of the ACA or Obamacare to push it through. Because they're like, oh, wow, well, 40 new mandatory customers? Hell yeah, that sounds like a great deal for us.
Cash cow. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think, I think if the health insurance companies were against it, there would have been a huge campaign, a funding campaign to try to stop it. And I mean, they barely even got it through as it is. So I wouldn't imagine if it wouldn't even got through. But what do you guys think of Trump saying a few days ago? He said, well, like, who knew health insurance would be this hard?
I mean, I really don't know what.
I just thought that was really funny because I'm like, well, where have you been for the past, 8-10 years that this has been a public discussion, you know?
look at
knock it out in freaking 3
Yeah.
months.
But you got to look at his standpoint. I mean, the guy makes God knows how much amount of money. He just walks into a hospital and pays cash. You know what I mean?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in his world, in his sphere of influence, and all of his friends, it hasn't been an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For my son's cost for his bilateral cochlear implants is way above the 10,000s, maybe even 20,000s. I mean, I'd have to go through all my what we paid out of pocket, and everything's been out of pocket for me and my family. But for somebody like Trump, if the doctor walked up and says, "Yeah, that's going to be $20,000," I mean, that's like $2 to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In comparison, yeah, it's probably $2, maybe even less. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But that's why I also think it's a 50-50 deal, as medical insurance is good, because when you have a cost like that, there ain't no way I'd be able to afford that.
Mm-hmm.
I did have my son's thing, and me and my wife had to save up for it, which was fine. But if we had got sick or something like that, I can understand that being it costs a lot.
Yeah. From what I understand, it's the catastrophic plan. So you pay very little a month into it, and then if something does happen or you do get sick, it's like something over like a $5,000 or $10,000 deductible, and that's the one health insurance plan that Obamacare or the ACA got rid of, and that's kind of why all average plans have gone up so much, at least from my understanding.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's definitely a big personal issue that you've been dealing with, and also it's a huge national issue going on right now. So I'm curious to see where it's gonna advance to. Are you familiar with any of like the socialized methods, or like the whole Bernie Sanders perspective on the healthcare industry? What do you guys think about that?
Never really followed up on that.
No, I didn't really follow up on
I mean,
that.
because, in all honesty, I thought every politician that we had for this presidency was probably not a great politician.
I think pretty much everyone felt like that.
It was,
I mean, we got what we
different
got,
time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, America kind of got what we deserved with Trump, as much as we've been engaging in politics and letting the system get corrupt. It's kind of like that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trump
We are a reality show now.
Yeah, we are the.
Oh yeah. It's totally a reality show. That's for sure. I mean, the election season. I mean, the news media, they made so much money. And then also speaking of with the health insurance and the pharmaceutical, it's the pills. Whenever you watch mainstream media, every other commercial is pretty much for pharmaceutical industry or the pill industry, pushing some new drug.
Yeah.
And then you also got to think, I mean, I'm a huge conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And follow up on a lot of stuff like that. But, I mean, they talk about how, with the pot thing passing through in California and throughout the United States and Colorado, like yada, yada, yada. The big pharma is what they call it. Do not want that.
No.
Because it takes away their cash coming in.
Right.
And I mean, our drummer had a bad back issue. They wanted to push pills on him, and he went the pot route, and that helped him a lot better and more cost efficient for him.
A lot less side effects.
And and there's no probability of getting addicted to opioids, which right now is a huge epidemic.
Well, like I said, money's in the medicine and money's not in the cure.
Yeah.
And they want their big pharma.
Yeah, and that's because that's the easy thing to do for the doctors. They're like, well, here, take these pills, I get a kickback, and then the news isn't gonna go and investigate and say, oh, wow, look at all, like 70% of new heroin deaths or people addicted to heroin started from opioids or started from a prescription that they got. Like, the news doesn't cover that because I wonder why.
Who's paying their salaries?
Yeah, because all the commercials. Yeah, well, they're not gonna attack their investors, and that's so it's like it's just totally corrupt on all fronts. It's quite mind-boggling how pervasive the corruption is, and just how in our face it is at this point. I think.
On top of that is it's more frustrating.
Well, and the lack of outrage from people is what frustrates me. Nobody else acts like they even notice. As long as it doesn't interrupt the Kardashians or
well,
television.
Since Trump's gotten elected, I will say there is a little bit more outrage. However, all the new outrage is just, oh, we hate Trump. There's no substance to it. It's like, well, why do you hate Trump? Oh, well, I just hate him. He's a sexist or he's this. It's like, yeah, okay, but like, what's the, it's like there's so many bad things he's pushing. It's so easy to just pick one horrible policy.
I don't care for Trump either, but
yeah.
Like you said, there's no substance to most of their arguments.
Yes, exactly. Like the Million Women March. Like, I was like, yes, awesome. You guys are going out there and protesting. I mean, I wish you would have been doing this for the past 8 years, when Obama was doing a lot of this bad, horrible stuff, continued from Bush. But yeah, and they're out there. It's more like they're just protesting Trump. Just like you said, reality. It's like a reality show.
It's become the 15 minutes of fame.
That was At the Courthouse. And next up, from episode number 22 of the Punk Rock and Politics podcast, we have the band 390. Here, check them out.
Not long ago I had a once in my life, a white picket fence.
freedom basically is, doing what you want without somebody interfering with you. And that's kind of our message. And then with a very anti-authoritarian slant to our music as well.
Yeah, the only reason I ask is a lot of times it's kind of ironic. I've noticed it, but I was talking to Tibby, the current bassist from Reagan Youth, and she kind of was saying, well, libertarians are kind of like closet Republicans. And I was like, it's kind of true lately. I think the whole true actual libertarian no government mindset is almost kind of doesn't exist in the quote unquote libertarian party anymore.
Well, yeah, I heard that interview. It was a good interview. Well, I think there is a difference today. I think most people kind of confuse Republicans with establishment, Republicans, conservatives, the more social leaning types. I think libertarians, it's still probably, it's a part of people might confuse it with the Republican Party, but I do think it's separate. And, there's a growing amount. I believe there's a growing number of libertarians happening today. And a lot of them, what I've been researching, there's a lot of them that are very closely associated with the anarchistic movement, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard of the folks like Adam Kokesh, probably a self-described anarcho-capitalist.
Oh.
It's kind of a voluntarism type of approach to
yes.
culture.
Yeah,
and I think this is kind of the direction we're leaning in when I talk about pro-civil libertarian. I think punk, if I can be so bold, I think punk has gotten too preachy. Your face.
Yeah.
It's too Puritan.
Look out!
Yeah, but here's the irony though, and I don't begrudge anybody for making a buck, but I just get a little annoyed at these bands that complain about corporate America. But you ever been to a punk fest?
Yeah,
it's corporate America.
Well, Warped Tour. That's why I really don't like Warped Tour anymore. I used to love it, but now I'm like, it's just, yeah, like you said, it's a corporate fest. Same with Coachella. Coachella is same exact thing. Yeah, exactly. These bands preach, anarchy and we need this and that, but then they go and play on the Pepsi stage at some X festival.
Yeah, no, and I think Jim Lindbergh mentioned this. He's pretty honest about it. We talked about this. We're these anti-corporate messages, yet we go play, and everywhere around we play these big festivals. There's nothing but big business, and everybody's making a buck. And so there seems to be a little bit of a double standard, if you will. But I don't begrudge anybody for making a buck. I mean, isn't that the system in which we live in? I just find a bit.
It's a little intellectually dishonest. Is what you're trying to say. Yeah,
that's why we tend to kind of keep our message to what I was telling you earlier. Mm-hmm. Just the anti-authoritarian message. Really, we're really kind of pushing back against the growth of the state and this whole surveillance state, the NSA, and all that's going on right now with this Trump administration. I mean, it's just crazy to me,
Well, the surveillance state, that's the thing, that the surveillance state started under Bush, it grew exponentially under Obama, and then is still growing under Trump. So that's my take. I've stepped back, and I'm kind of just to the point where, both parties are just, they're basically serving the same masters. And also, people want to look at the corporations and the government being two big evil entities, one on the right or left, but really they're the same thing. The corporation and the government, the people go in and out of government and corporation like revolving doors.
No, I know. And they're lobbyists. Once they come out, they're lobbyists making big bucks. Exactly. Because they know everybody, and they're hiring it's a big world of nepotism. They're hiring their family members, and it's a big scam. And us living in California, this place is becoming increasingly difficult to live here. I mean, it's just so heavily taxed. Mm-hmm. I just got my car smogged, and it's just ridiculous. And my registration went up 25%, it's, and gas taxes are supposed to go up.
They're talking about, I think it was 12 cents a dollar on gas tax that they're trying to put to repair the roads out
so
here.
That'll be like 72 cents for every gallon now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's and it makes it difficult, to buy my next guitar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that buying your guitar spurs the economy, and that's how we grow the economy. So, and then another thing, I was raised here in California, and then I always go back to this, lived in Arizona for like 7 years, hardcore red state, and everyone there has guns. And I kind of freaked out at first, but after living out there and living around it and watching responsible gun owners actually live responsibly and going out and shooting them, I was like, wow, they're not that evil. Coming back to California, and then all the laws and restrictions and regulations on a handgun, it's like, wow, that's another problem with the left. But anyone on the left, if you just so happen to question it, you want to encourage mass shooting, you're a puppet for the NRA, or any of this.
And I think the best antidote for all this is just, like you said, just get to know people. I think that will probably relieve a lot of fears we have toward one another. But that's the problem nowadays. We've become our culture's become so, politicized, so fragmented. We live. I mean, I remember one historian was talking about. It's like we're living in 1860. It's not the slave states anymore, but we're living in just two types of states that really are just so much different.
Yes.
You have the red states and the blue states, and we are increasingly becoming, different. Yeah. It used to be you had this, it was different paths for the same, ends. Now it's like there's two different paths with two different complete ends in mind. Well, and that's why I think you're having the issues today with what's going on. A simple Supreme Court nominee, I mean, Democrats don't want them because I think because the ideology is so different nowadays.
Yeah, that
it's causing real problems, and I'm wondering if anything is going to get done because of this fragmentation.
No, it's only going to get worse. And like you were saying, red state, blue state. It's worse than that actually, because if you go, it's county by county. So if you actually go and look at a population map, and then if you lay the population map on top of the county map and how the counties voted, literally the high population areas all go blue, and then the rural areas all go red 90% of the time. And all the districts are so gerrymandered that each red or blue, the Republican or Democrat, they hold their seat so they can be as extreme as they want because 80% of their constituents are their party, and that's on both sides is what's going on with that. Yeah. Thanks for checking out Punk Rock and Politics. If you enjoyed the show and the information brought to you, please subscribe and share the podcast. It helps us here at Punk Rock and Politics, but more importantly, it helps the featured bands gain exposure. Also, if you know any bands or musicians who would like to join the political mosh pit and have their music featured on the Punk Rock and Politics podcast, please email us at punkrockandpolitics@gmail.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. And rock on, political junkies.
I think all our society is run by insane people for insane objectives.
Doing a better job of talking to each other. The left hand now knows what the right hand is doing.
Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.